Hey guys, Ben here with Stringer Bridge Farm. Today I want to talk a little bit about what I consider to be the absolute most important trait to consider when you're selecting a bull. So I've got two bulls here on our property. I'm going to show you both of them. I got this guy right here, and I got a South Pole bull over there. So a Hereford and a South Pole. So this bull right here, or both of them, they've been on grass and hay only. They haven't been getting any feed, nothing. This bull, their hair coats are a lot different, so you got to kind of try to look through the hair coat. The Hereford has a very thick, kind of woolly winter coat right now, and the South Pole's got a little bit of a lot slicker of a coat, so it's hard to compare. But you get into all these things you hear people talk about when selecting bulls. You start talking about breeds, genetics, all these other things, and that's great. I think that's important. Especially when you start talking about calving ease and those kind of things. But what I'm most interested in is how's this bull going to perform on my farm. So this bull right here, he's actually homegrown. We bought his mama as a bred cow. He's off a top 1% bull in the Hereford breed, and he's coming up on 2 years old right now, and I'm going to say he's about 900 pounds. I hadn't put him on a scale. You know, it's probably hard for you to get some scale here on just this little video, but he's probably a lot smaller than what he could be if he was on a different type of program. So like I said, we're 100% grass only. They're not getting any supplement, no anything, and he is not a bad bull. But when I look at him compared to what his potential is, I don't think he's all that close to what his true potential is. I've seen the farm this guy came from. The bulls were 2,800 pounds. He had yearling bulls as big as this one that's almost 2 years old. And the big difference is he feeds his cows a lot. So if this guy was getting 15 or 20 pounds of feed per day, I think he'd be a completely different animal. Now, he's not bad. This is an animal I would probably consider putting on a few cows, except for one thing. The difference is I've got this guy over here. So when I compare these two, they've been on the exact same program, which is grass only, and I look at how they're growing. The South Pole, which is a smaller breed, roughly the same age. They're within, I think, 6 weeks of each other's age. And this guy has performed a lot better, where he's a much bigger animal. He's got a much better muscle expression. He's not letting me get a good look at him. But when I come around and look, one of the key things, I guess let me go kick his mineral bowl. Maybe he'll get him to come put his head down at the mineral bowl and you can get a better look. Come on. Yeah, he's came from a farm that they were grass-fed just like us. So that gave me a lot of confidence. Even though he probably wasn't as big or as muscular as some of the other bulls I went and looked at, he came from a grass-fed system. So when I look at him, he's got some very good muscle expression, especially in his hind, where if I compare him to the Hereford, this guy, he's got a little bit narrower muscling in his rear end compared to the South Pole. So, you know, it's hard for me to put this Hereford on any cows when I got this South Pole who he's got better muscle expression at the same age. I mean, you can just look at his neck, everything. He is just a much better looking bull for being on this grass only system than what the Hereford is. Like I said, Hereford's not bad. If he's all I had, I'd probably be okay with it. But when I just look at, and again, these are young bulls, so these are not full-grown bulls. But if I look at the muscling on this guy, you can just see it's much different looking than what I have on the Hereford. So I think the breed has a lot to do with it, and then also just the way they're raised. So when you start getting in these feed supplemented farms, I think you get a different expression of their genetic potential, and you're not really selecting for the traits that really matter. And so for us, if we want to have a sustainable operation, that's having animals that can perform on grass. You know, I don't mind feeding a few steers every year, but I don't want to have to supplement my bulls, my cow herd, everything. I want animals that could perform on grass on the system that I have in place. And so to me, the absolute most important thing when I go look at bulls is to ask those questions about how they raise their animals, and you know, does that match what I want to do on my farm? And if it does, you know, I'm going to look for the best animal I can find on that system, not just the best animal I can find. So you can see he's bellowing for his cow herd. They're off in the distance out there. I just moved them to a fresh paddock and you can see them across the pond. So that's kind of what I wanted to discuss was, you know, you can set up a chart of 1,000 different things that are important for selecting a bull, and they may be important to you, but for me, the most important thing is finding the best bull that performs on a system like I have in place, which is primarily a grass-fed operation. So I think I have that right now. You know, I'll probably look when I go to select my next bull, you know, in 2 or 3 years, we'll do the same thing again. I'll be open to breeds, but ultimately I want that animal that's gonna display some muscling, some libido, all those things on a grass-fed operation like we have. Anyway, hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you on the next one.